Good morning. Welcome to the virtual worship service of the Unitarian Universalist Church of the Monterey Peninsula. My name is Kathleen Craig, and I am currently serving as a member of the church's Board of Trustees. We are a congregation of people of different ages, races, classes, religious and sexual orientations, gender identities, and political views. Our purpose is to change our own lives even as we work to change the world around us through love, learning, and service to others. If you're a visitor with us today, please fill out our virtual visitor card. You can find the link in the Zoom chat box or on the church's website. You can also view past services on the church's website. Our worship theme for this month is Cultivating Relationship. Today's service, entitled Holy Family, is led by worship associates Ann Jacobson and Karen Brown. Have you checked out the weekly e-news lately? The weekly e-news contains information about many timely activities here at UUCMP. It's available on the church website and via email. The latest e-news, dated Wednesday, October 13th, lists many upcoming meetings and events, as well as all the religious exploration activities for the week. It includes a call for artists to illustrate a poem called Jabberwocky, and the social justice call to action that details how you can support the American Dream and Promise Act of 2021. If you're interested in getting involved in any of these activities and so many more, you can contact the organizer or our office staff. If you're not receiving the e-news in your email, you can subscribe on our website or by calling the office staff. Director of Religious Exploration, Aaron Forstein, cordially invites all teen Zoom families to meet today at the regular Team Zoom time, say that twice, to discuss the upcoming in-person teen RE class on October 24th. You heard that right, in person. Teen families can come together today to strategize, discuss concerns and ideas, and Aaron will answer any questions you have. Our sabbatical minister, Susan Panteja, invites you to attend one of the 2 remaining scheduled open house events at the church. One is on Tuesday, October 19th, from 5 to 6:30 p.m., or Sunday, October 31st, from 1:30 to 3. You will have a chance to tour the building and grounds, meet your sabbatical minister, and visit with some of our fellow church members. COVID safety precautions will be in place. Our media director, Timothy Barrett, is leaving his position with the UUCMP in order to pursue other endeavors. Many of us have worked with Timothy preparing our Zoom worship services over the past few months, and we are really so grateful for his help in keeping us connected each Sunday. All the best to you, Timothy, in the future. Our shared offering recipient for the month of October is Doctors Without Borders. Founded in France in 1971 and awarded the Nobel Prize in 1999, Doctors Without Borders provides medical assistance around the world to people affected by conflict, epidemics, disasters, or exclusion from healthcare. Actions are guided by medical ethics and the principle of impartiality, independence, and neutrality. Checks made out to UUCMP with Doctors Without Borders in the memo line will support this important group. And now, please enjoy our musical prelude.
Whisper, sweet silence, in the darkest room, keeper of life itself, as it softly blooms, where the ocean meets the moon. Shaper of the cypress trees, as they reach revealing time, bending with the ocean breeze, do you see it through my eyes? Gently travel on till your hands in mine. All in Weaver of the wildest dreams, catching clouds and painting with the air, sower of countless seeds, cast your net and know that I'll be there, standing on the shore till your wave comes in. We'll meet there and then, with your hand in mine, all in drifting through these hours, I wonder who you're going to be. Wandering through the waters of your very own sea. Though you are all of your own, you'll always be a part of me. From the branches to the roots, the river's tributaries. Whisper, sweet silence, in the darkest room.
Our opening words for today are taken from our hymnal, several readings. Much of this is by Reverend Kenneth L. Patton, a founder of New Universalism, all written about the church. I believe, though, that they speak to and inspire our homes and families as well. This house, your house, mine, is about a house of friendships, a haven in times of trouble, an open room for the encouragement of our struggle. It is a house of freedom, guarding the dignity and worth of every person, seeking justice, equity, compassion, acceptance of one another, and encouragement towards spiritual growth. This house, my house, yours, is a cradle for our dreams, the workshop of our common endeavor. Come, let us worship together.
And now please join as we sing Room at the Table, led by Anne and Susan.
Let our hearts not be hardened to those living on the margins. There is room at the table for everyone. This is where it all begins. This is how we gather in. There is room at the table for everyone. Too long we have wandered, burdened and undone, but there is room at the table for everyone. Let us sing the new world in. This is how it all begins. There is room at the table for everyone. There is room for us all, and no gift is too small. There is room at the table for everyone. There's enough if we share. Come on, pull up a chair. There is room at the table for everyone. No matter who you are, no matter where you're from, there is room at the table for everyone. Here and now we can be the beloved community. There is room at the table for everyone. There is room for us all, and no gift is too small. There is room at the table for everyone. There's enough if we share. Come on, pull up a chair. There is room at the table for everyone. There is room for us all, and no gift is too small. There is room at the table for everyone. There's enough if we share. Come on, pull up a chair. There is room at the table for everyone.
With UU congregations around the world, we will now light our chalice, a symbol of our faith and of our covenanted aspirations of love, hope, and justice. This morning, 3 young adults who grew up in our church family will lead us. Please join in.
We gather together as a community of memory and hope to celebrate life and its infinite possibilities for love. We light this chalice as a symbol of the light within every human heart. May our individual sparks meet and merge, bringing both light and warmth to the world.
Our story for all ages today is titled Love Makes a Family, and it's by Sophia Beer. Love makes a family reminds me of a song. Love makes a family, so many ways that people can be. And inside this book and on the cover here, you can see some of the many ways that people can be. On the back it says, whether you have one parent, or two moms, or two dads, or a mom and a dad, or another wonderful caregiver, there's one thing that makes every family a family, and that's love. Love is waking up bright and early to music, maybe noise. You know what? I'm thinking we should have this read by one of our church families. Here's Rowan with one of her moms, Zoe Jacobson.
Love makes a family. Love is waking up bright and early. Yeah, there they are waking up. Love is baking a special cake. There's the cake. Love is knowing where everything is. Love is finding the biggest puddles. Do you see a doggy? There's a doggy. There's a snail. Love is lending a helping hand. Love is watching from the front row. There's a star. Love is playing on the weekend. Do you see a bunny rabbit? Do you see the bunny rabbit, Rowan? Oh, there's somebody with a beard. There's the bunny rabbit. Love is making things better again. Love is washing away the day. Love is reading one more book. Love is chasing away monsters. Do you see a kitty cat? There's the kitty cat. Love is a kiss before bed. Good night. Whether you have one parent, two moms, two dads, a mom and a dad, or another wonderful caregiver, there's one thing that makes every family a family, and that's love.
As I was thinking about today's service topic on families, I immediately thought about my own family and the many good times we have shared. Every few years, my family gathers for a week or two at my parents' summer place on an island in Maine. What began around 45 years ago as my parents and their 3 children has now significantly grown. Our family these days includes my parents, me, and my 2 siblings and our spouses, and now my granddaughter Rowan, the first member of her generation. Usually we are joined by a few extended family members as well. One of everyone's favorite things to do while together is to pore over the numerous family photos displayed on every available surface and in albums taking up a large portion of the bookshelves in the living room. We all delight in seeing once again the familiar photos of ourselves as babies, children, college graduates, young parents, as well as photos of us with grandparents and other relatives and friends who are now long gone. We fondly remember the numerous meals, parties, trips, and other family gatherings. Looking at these photos each year is like a touchstone, reminding us all who we are, where we came from, and how closely we're connected. Some of my favorite photos are of my daughters Lily and Zoe engaging in various activities or just hanging out with their cousins, my sister's children, Russell and Isabel. When the 4 cousins were growing up, they spent many weeks together each summer at the big house in Maine. My parents went through great effort to ensure that their grandchildren had this annual opportunity to connect. One very sweet photo on display is of a smiling Lily, aged about 5, with her braids and her 2 little red suitcases, one in each hand, as she embarked on her first trip across the country without us, as my dad flew out from the East Coast and one day later made the long trip back to escort her to Maine. That's how important keeping us connected was to my parents. This year, when we gathered after the long absence of contact created by COVID, it was very touching to see the enduring deep connection and ease between the cousins. Where once the little cousins played in the living room together with their cardboard storefront and toy kitchen, they now hung out laughing, talking, playing games, and sipping drinks as young adults in their 20s and 30s, joined by their various spouses and their younger cousin, nestled together on couches and chairs and carpets, limbs intertwined, one with her toddler, another expecting a new baby soon. We all recognize that our family has been very fortunate to have this special place to regularly come together over the years. For the past couple of summers, when we've been together, Lily, who has a gift for creating meaningful ceremonies, has led a very touching outdoor family ritual in the woods overlooking the ocean near the house, where we each have an opportunity to express our appreciation for the place and the land and to thank it for its many gifts, especially the opportunity it has provided us to come together and to deepen our connection over time.
And now please join as we sing We Laugh, We Cry, led by Joanna Wolfish.
We laugh, we cry, we live, we die, we dance, we sing our song. We need to feel there's something here to which we can belong. We need to feel the freedom just to have some Our time is very brief. The death of one among us fills us all with pain and grief. But as we live, so too we die, and when our lives are done, the memories we shared with friends, they will linger on and on. And we believe in life and in the strength of love, and we have found a place to be together. We have a right to grow. We have the gift to believe that peace within our living is an answer. We seek elusive answers to the questions of this life. We seek to put an end to all the waste of human strife. We search for truth, equality, and blessed peace of mind. And then we come together here to make sense of what we find. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found a joy being together. And in our search for peace, maybe we'll finally see, even to question truly is an answer.
This is the time we take each week to pause and reflect on the events of our lives, to think about the people we love and care about, our families, our family of friends, and our human family, the joys and sorrows of our connection. We'll be dropping pebbles representing these joys and concerns into our shared waters of love and support. Any of you so moved are welcome to share a personal joy or sorrow with all of us using that chat button. For me, it's at the bottom of the screen, and typing a message in. Please keep in mind that if you type your joy or concern in the chat, it may be more public than you realize because of the joy of many people joining in through Zoom. If you have a more private or confidential joy or concern, please contact the Office for Pastoral Care. The Caring Committee invites us to share in the joy for Peggy Hansen, who will celebrate her 84th birthday on October 22nd. Happy birthday, Peggy. We pause now for a moment of contemplation with this prayer by Reverend Marisol Caballero. I am ever grateful for the friends who are my family, who have pieced me together each time I've fallen apart, who laugh, cry, dream, and age happily by my side. May I strive to be as reliable, as patient, and loving with them as they are with me.
Now is the time for our morning offering. We encourage you to think about your financial support for this church and the resources the church needs to carry out our good work. We encourage you to write a check and drop it in the mail, or use the donate button on our website. You are also encouraged to contribute to our shared offering recipient, Médecins Sans Frontières, Doctors Without Borders. And now, please enjoy our offertory music.
I'll be your candle on the water. My love for you will always burn. I know you're lost and drifting, but the clouds are lifting. Don't give up, you have somewhere to turn. I'll be your candle on the water, till every wave is warm and bright. My soul is there beside you. Let this candle guide you. Soon you'll see a golden stream of light. A cold and friendless tide has found you. Don't let this stormy darkness pull you down. I'll paint a ray of hope around you, circling in the air, lighted by a prayer. I'll be your candle on the water. This flame inside of me will grow. Keep holding on, you'll make it. Here's my hand, so take it. Look for me, reaching out to show, as sure as rivers flow. I'll never let you go.
might be wondering, where did we get the title for this service, Holy Family? Partly from this first reading by Reverend Earl Holt. Think of your family and your church at its best or in its struggles as I read this piece by him. If this is not a holy place, then no place is holy. The holiness of this place is in the wholeness which we may find here. The completion which we may experience in recognizing our place within a community of spirit. Knowing not merely that we are not alone, not merely that we stand in need of others, but that others stand in need of us, and that we are a part of their wholeness as they are a part of ours. Our second reading is by Reverend Marisol Caballero again, and it's about a couple of words that have caused a lot of confusion for me. So I'm happy to read it today. I love the concept of compadres and comadres. Technically, those words mean your child's godparents, but the words literally mean co-father and co-mother. Comadre and compadre are terms used liberally beyond their technical or even literal meaning, and are even used between extremely close adult friends who may not have any children at all, as they are co-parenting, co-nurturing each other's stages of life. These are the kinds of friends whose doors you don't knock on, and whose refrigerators are stocked for your free grazing. They will show up in a crisis and love you unconditionally. Years can pass without speaking, and you pick up right where you left off. They see you beyond failed marriages and career achievements. They understand that you have helped to form them, and they you. They are family as much as, and sometimes more than, blood relatives. Everyone needs comadres and compadres.
Our next reading is excerpted from Andrew Coates' essay, What We Choose, in an edited book by Kayla Parker entitled Becoming, a Spiritual Guide for Navigating Adulthood. I used to scoff at the idea of chosen family because it seemed like a feel-good characterization to use when your family of origin didn't work for you. I never really embraced it for myself until I started thinking about ancestry rather than parentage. Like so many people my age in the United States, my identities are all mixed up and only partially visible. The more mixed up our identities get, the more important our choices become. Ancestry is no longer just a question of fate or genetics, but of whose shoulders we stand on. My genetic families of origin aren't necessarily recognizable when you look at me. But my chosen family, those queers and religious liberals of the past, present, and future, come shining through. I embody that history when I walk out the door because they made it possible for me to walk out the door as an openly transgender seminarian. They are my history more completely than anything I was born into. Every time we move toward liberation, we can do so because of those who came before us. Those who come after us will move more easily because of what we have accomplished. This is not something limited to queer people whose families are giving them a hard time. We all choose. And our final reading is from our own Reverend Marge Kipe. As surely as we belong to this universe, we belong together. And the purpose of the religious enterprise is to transcend the isolated self, to reconnect, to know ourselves to be at home, here on the earth, under the stars, linked with each other.
Hi, my name is Kayla. This is my mom, my dad, and my beloved hamster, Sam. We got Sam at the SPCA. I have an older sister who lives in New York City, a grandma and an aunt who live nearby, an aunt who lives in the Philippines and will be coming next month. What makes us a family is that we care for each other and we look out for each other.
What is a Holy Family? There are 4 concepts that are most important for me: love, humor, being humble, and praise. Love is how we bring people together with different ideas, feelings, and understandings and goals. One of my daughters sent me a card that illustrated something more. It said, "Those who love passionately teach us how to live." Humor allows us to joke and have fun together and leave the world at the front door. It also can help us work through difficulties. One time I was playing cards with my grandsons. The point of the game is to be the first to discard all your cards. But there's a joker in the deck, the draw 4 card. In the first game, my youngest grandson was very upset about not winning. In the next game, I had a draw 4 in my hand, and I laid it down, and I looked at him, and I said, "Gotcha," and he laughed. The next game, he laid down a draw 4, and looked at me and said, "I got you," and we were laughing and having fun the rest of the game. With humor, he was able to give beyond his disappointment and enjoy life. Being humble is what allows us to listen, understand, and appreciate each other. One time, a group of friends and I got together and we were discussing what was going on in our country. And I said, I think we're all patriotic. And one of them interrupted and said, those people can't be patriotic. I wasn't able to even finish my sentence, explain what I was thinking of. We have to take time to hear each other. One time, one of my daughters said to me, Dad, you're the kindest, most humble man I know. I don't know if that would stick on the wall like cooked spaghetti, but I do know it meant a lot to her, and it made me feel good. Praise. Already said above, it makes us feel good, but it also makes us feel valued. It is inclusive. I hope I've shared my love with you, tickled your funny bone, humbly hope that I said something meaningful, and you have been a good audience. This is my understanding of a holy family. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Susan Ragsdale Cronin, and our family, me, Susan, my husband, Bill, which most of you probably know, and this is my daughter, Tara, that I love so much. She's from China, and we picked her up in 2003. We also have an oldest biological daughter, Sydney, and she recently graduated from San Francisco State. We have our youngest daughter, Dharma, who's from Guatemala, and she's 100% Mayan. She's very feisty. Okay, that one. We got her playing lacrosse, so don't worry. But Dharma was drawn to us for a reason, as was Tara and Sydney. And Dharma was all about teaching our family boundaries.
Yep.
Tara is about making everything beautiful. She plays amazing music. And Sydney's all about making the world a better place. So we have a beautiful family. The kids all have different sexualities, and so we are also able to weave into our quilt cultural, sexual differences. Sorry for my cough. Anyway, we really enjoy these children so much. Tara, how does it feel being raised in a multicultural family?
Well, I would say it's not a crazy difference. I don't have anything to compare it to, I guess. But growing up, we got to celebrate or just learn more about different cultures, I guess, which was really cool looking back on it. And yeah, I've enjoyed my life so far. Thanks to my mom and my dad and my sisters, who I love very much.
And we love that they love each other. Tara just recently went to San Francisco to visit her sister, Sydney. I don't know if she went for Sydney or for Sydney's new kitty, but our kids enjoy each other's company, and who could ask for more?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for watching.
Okay, Bill Ragsdale Cronin here with Tara, you saw in the earlier video. So yeah, we're talking about our multicultural, multiracial family. So some of the interesting parts is as Susan had mentioned earlier, our oldest daughter Sydney's biological, blonde hair, blue-eyed, and so white you can't tell her different from a piece of tissue paper. We get Tara here from China, Dharma, our little warrior child, as Susan calls her, from Guatemala, who's very dark skinned, especially during the summer. Some of the interesting things, I mean, other than being from all these different cultures, I'm not a big traveler. I got to go to China for 3 weeks. That was pretty cool. Nobody ever bet Mr. Ragsdale Cronin here would be on China, and actually have pictures of me on the Great Wall. And then later on, when it was time to get Dharma, because of the situation in Guatemala not being safe for children and other people to travel, I went to Guatemala twice on my own and ended up bringing Dharma back by myself. But some of the interesting things that I find happening out there in the world, which is kind of fun, is going out with my kids, especially if my wife wasn't with me. So it'd be me and Sydney and Tara and Dharma all walking down the street. And like I said, they're all very different looking. And you get these looks from people like, what? Must be a daycare family. Must be friends. Must be this. And then somebody will ask you, are those your kids? Yeah, they're my kids. All of them? Yeah, all three of those are my daughters. How many times have you been married? All the same mom. And they just have this just absolute puzzled look on their face. And they don't know what to say. And it's kind of interesting because they kind of stuck their foot in their mouth to start with by going in that direction. And then I would always drop something, saying, yeah, Tara kind of does look like the yard guy. Or Dharma looks like the pool guy or something like that. So it was great fun to watch people's eyes bug out of their heads. I didn't do that to people I knew. That was more to just strangers that stuck their nose where it shouldn't belong. But it's been it's been fun. The kids, both of the kids have totally accepted being in our family. We're a little nutty. We talk about weird stuff at the dinner table. The girls all kind of like, so what kind of weird stuff are we going to talk about today? And we usually come up with something. Yeah, we usually find something to discuss that most families wouldn't probably talk about at the dinner table. But overall, having a multicultural family, multisexual, multiracial, multi-everything you could possibly imagine, family has been wonderful. We love our kids, and we would do it all over again if we had a half a chance.
Hi, I'm Maren Christensen. You might know my parents, Carl Christensen and Joanne Nobeson, and some of you have known our family for a very long time, since my sister Audrey and I were small. What you might not know is that when Audrey and I were very little, we gained 3 older foster sisters. For a while, Gabby, Patty, and Liz had been taking turns coming over to babysit us after school. And at a certain point, they weren't living with any of their parents or guardians, so my parents became their foster parents. Audrey and I could not have been more excited to have them living with us. We used to refer to them as the big girls, and we looked up to them truly in every way. We loved playing with them, and we especially loved embarrassing them in front of their friends and their boyfriends. The fact that they were all born in Mexico and that my parents had spent many years living in Mexico City further gelled our family unit. I became highly motivated to learn Spanish because they would talk about secret teenager topics in Spanish so that I wouldn't understand. And I've used Spanish in nearly every job I've held as an adult, and I credit my older sisters for motivating me to learn. Today, we remain a family unit. Every year, we're together for at least one major holiday. During the pandemic, we've kept the scheduling of a family Zoom. We've kept it up for at least once a week, getting together on Zoom. I have so many nephews and nieces now, mostly from my older sisters. I only have one biological niece. I hike with my sister Liz and my niece Karina on a regular basis. And in a few weeks, we're all getting together for a sister spa weekend. I really continue to look up to my older sisters, in some ways more now than ever before, as we all navigate our lives as adults. If I had to pick one decision that my parents made for our family that had the biggest impact on my life and who I am, it would definitely be their decision to expand our family beyond blood. Yes, the older sisters got to sleep in while we went to UUCMP on Sunday mornings, but my parents actually have 5 daughters, and we feel very, very lucky.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Cope, and I'm a single mother by choice. This is my Holy Family story. Becoming a single mother wasn't my first choice. I had to choose between the love of my life and becoming a mother. I chose the motherhood road less traveled by, and this was going to be a bumpy road. I found support through a local Single Mothers by Choice support group. I met lots of amazing women with amazing stories and felt less alone and broken. My mom told me she would help. After 3 years of fertility treatment, I finally got pregnant. I saw a brief heartbeat and then it was gone. At the same time, my mom was having doctor visits of her own. She was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, and one of the tumors had made it to her brain. We had lost multiple friends to the same disease, and most had died within 18 months. I feared and grieved the probable loss of my mother, but especially that she might not survive long enough to be with me as I became a mother. My mom and I had very different but somehow parallel medical journeys. She had chemo, radiation, and brain surgery twice, while I had multiple medical procedures, 4 rounds of IVF, and lost 3 more little heartbeats. That was one of the darkest times of my life, fearing losing my mother and grieving my partner and 4 deeply wanted pregnancies. I started to fear I wouldn't become a mother. After running out of money and credit and taking a cocktail of medications to hopefully prevent another unexplained miscarriage, I got pregnant a 5th time. I was terrified the whole time, but this one stuck. Now that it was finally happening, I wanted to make sure my child would have a larger family than just the 2 of us. Inspired by the Moss story, Council of Dads, I set out to create a Council of God Grandmothers. My mother is still close to her 4 best childhood friends. They were the first God Grandmothers. I added my father's best friends and some of my best friends' parents that already felt like chosen family. I just made it official. For me, the God and Godparent is an acronym for greater than oneself or divine. I also asked a group of my dear male friends to be godfathers. They are a special mix of kind, loving, and non-gender stereotypical men that I could turn to for support and advice. It was 2016, and I thought it couldn't get worse. Then I lost my job, Hillary lost the election, and then I lost my home. Worse, it felt like I lost myself. It was a really scary time to be single, pregnant, and unemployed. Numb and overwhelmed, needing an emergency C-section didn't surprise me. I had stopped expecting anything to go the way I hoped. I finally held my little miracle in my shaking arms, and I felt like a mother phoenix emerging from the ashes. Now I have 2 miracles, my son and my mother. He was a healthy medical miracle, and her cancer has shrunk and is stable. She is going on 7 years now. She is here, but I miss the person she used to be before the brain tumor. Sometimes she and my son act more like siblings with a 67-year age difference. After his birth, we connected with Jamesy's donor sibling family that we call his Dibblings. At last count, there are 24 Dibblings that we know of. This includes 3 sets of twins, a set of triplets, and another set of twins on the way. We are an interesting mix of queer couples and single parents all over the US and 1 family in Israel. There's even another single mother named Rebecca who is also a therapist. I hear people talk about how children bring joy to their life. To be completely honest, most of the time it just feels really hard. A third of my son's life has been during a pandemic. Even though moments of joy don't happen as often as I would like, there is no doubt I would make the same choice all over again. Before I had Jamesy, I felt an emptiness and a profound longing in my soul. I felt like there was something missing or incomplete. Despite a lot of emotional work and self-reflection, I struggled with an anxious attachment style that challenged my intimate relationships. Now that empty space and longing is gone, in its place is a sense of feeling grounded and having a deep purpose. My postmodern motherhood has helped to heal my heart and spirit, and now I feel secure and whole. Thank you.
We appreciate all who have shared their lives with us this morning. We honor and bless your families in each one's love, meaning, beauty, and uniqueness. And now we have an opportunity to express our support for these church families, our church family, and our own families through these family vows, modeled after a ritual written by Shia and Andrew Darien.
You're welcome to join us in reading all or parts of the family vows written on the slides. You may want to touch or think of family members. It might be ones who are close, or it might be ones who are the farthest from you spiritually or physically. It might even be ones who are no longer living, but who you are still learning to love. At the end, we will pause for a moment of quiet contemplation.
I promise to love you with a transforming love, a love that accepts you as you are unconditionally.
I promise to comfort you in your pain and vulnerability, and to celebrate with you in your joy and discovery.
I promise to share with you what I believe it means to be strong and humane, and to seek peace in our family and in our world. I promise to share with you my insights in life, realizing that you will grow into your own insights, choices, and unique ways of being.
I respect the person you are forever becoming and promise to learn from you.
I promise to play with you and to work side by side with you, to cry with you and laugh with you.
As I learn to love my family, I dedicate myself to learning more fully what it means to love myself.
Please join and let it be a dance.
Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you. Through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let a dancing song be heard. Let the music say the words. And fill the sky with sailing birds. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, feel the beat. To bring the harvest, let the seed. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you. Through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Morning sun comes out at night. Without the dark there is no light. If nothing's wrong and nothing's right. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Share the laughter, bear the pain. And round we go again. Let it be a dance.
Now, please join Zoe, Marin, Daniel, and our whole church family as we extinguish our chalice.
We extinguish this chalice, but take its light into our lives. to be the presence of love in the midst of fear, the voice of hope in the face of despair, and the hands of justice, restoring a world worthy of our children.
For our benediction, please join hands or arms with your family or yourself. After the benediction, please enjoy the lovely postlude and then join a conversation circle. If here in this church or in your family you have found freedom, take it with you out into the world. If you found comfort, go and share it with others.
If you've dreamed dreams, help one another that they may come true. If you've known love, give some back to a bruised and hurting world.
It's not time to make a change. Just relax and take it easy. You're still young, that's your fault. There's so much you have to know. Find a girl, settle down. If you want to, you can marry. Look at me, I am old, but I'm happy. I was once like you are now, and I know that it's not easy to be calm when you found something going on. But take your time, think a lot. Why think of everything you've got? For you will still be here tomorrow, but your dreams may not. How can I try to explain? 'Cause when I do, he turns away again. It's always been the same old story. From the moment I could talk, I was ordered to listen. Now there's a way, and I know that I have to go away. I know I have to go. Well, it's not time to make a change. Just sit down and take it slowly. You're still young, that's your fault. There's so much you have to go through. Find a girl, settle down. If you want, you can marry. Look at me, I am old, but I'm happy. All the times I have cried, keeping all the things I knew inside. It's hard, but it's harder to ignore it. If they were right, then I'd agree. But it's them they know, not me. Now there's a way, and I know that I have to go away. I know I have to go. I know I have to go. I know I have